Finally, after over 7 months, I get to give you a proper look around my Orbea Orca Aero. I turned up at the GCN HQ on the 1st of June last year, and we've been together ever since. This bike is really special to me because I had some amazing experiences whilst riding it last summer. Not only that, but I was also fitter than I ever had been as I just stopped racing, but I was a lot fresher, which meant I could go out on any day of the week and set loads of new PBs. And who doesn't like going faster than they've ever gone before? And finally, part of this bike holds an unofficial world record, thanks to Emma Pooley, who borrowed a couple of bits of my group set when she set her hour record, her uphill hour record, recently in Oman. So here it is, my Orbea Orca Aero in bright red and valley green. Not only my first Orbea, but my first Spanish bike, full stop. I'm not quite sure who came up with the colour scheme, and at first I was a little bit unsure, but having spent a lot of time riding it and a lot of time watching it on the videos, I now absolutely love it. The way it stands out and pops against almost any background is my absolute favourite thing about it. It's just a mega bold colour choice that I completely adore. Right, let's take a closer look and start up top with my saddle. And I finally get to openly use my favourite saddle of all time, the Fizik Arione. I like it because it's got the flexy wings on the side, and I just find that really comfortable. When I raced, I used the heavily padded version, and I had to black out all the decals because, of course, we weren't sponsored by Fizik at the time. I find the flat top is perfect for sliding around the saddle and getting that perfect position for every pedalling situation. Moving to the front of the bike, and I've got the Vision Metron 5D sprint style bar, which is mega beefy and stiff, which is probably why I like it. It's got a 120mm stem, although it looks shorter because the stem kind of flares from around 3/4 of the way up to the bar. The bars are 420mm wide, which is great for the confidence when you're descending. Onto the levers, and I run my Shimano Dura's Di2 levers a little bit higher up on the bar than I would have when I was racing. I used to keep them low because it was aero, apparently. And I wind the brake lever quite far in. I don't have small hands, but I really like the feeling of having the brake lever right underneath my fingertips when I'm racing, or riding at any point for that matter these days. Something I started doing years ago on my mountain bike, but I've only recently in the last couple of seasons done it on the road, and I found it to be a really big enhancer of confidence. I run my sticky Fizik bar tape wrapped about as thin as possible, and this is again for a feeling of confidence and control, especially on the descents. I have my stem slammed as low as it will go on this bike, and that is because if I was being really fussy, it's perhaps one size too big, and I may have chosen a 51. This is a 53, but I'm not racing anymore, so it's not a major issue. And also this bike is mega comfortable, and because it's that little bit bigger at the front, I ride in the drops more, which is again great for confidence on the descents. Generally speaking, I only run one bottle cage on my bike now that I don't ride any further than a couple of hours at a time. I don't feel the need for two, but you can see that I've borrowed it actually for another bike at the moment. That'll be back there soon enough though. Moving down to the wheels, and I've got the Zipp 404 Firecrest on here with the big white decals and that really recognisable golf ball textured rim surface. They've got the showstopper braking surface on there as well. And mounted to those wheels are the Continental GP 4002S tyres. I've got a 25mm in the back, but up front I've got a 28mm, and that's again for the handling and the confidence on the big descents that we did in the summer. In the tyres, I'm running 65 to 85 PSI or 4.5 to 5.5 bar, depending on the road surface and the weather and things like that. And this is all again set up to help aid the handling of the bike. Moving down to the gearing, and my Shimano Dura-Ace Di2 shifts an 1128 cassette on the back, which is a standard cassette, and it's got a lovely spread across it. Up the front though is a 5034, and at the time this was the lowest gear I'd ever been given, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy using it. But we did so many mountainous rides in the summer that I learned to love it, and in fact I needed it. I really thought I was going to spin out on the 50, but unless you're doing 55 k's an hour consistently, then it's more than enough, to be honest. My cranks are 172.5mm. I would normally choose 170s, but I actually quite enjoyed the slightly longer cranks. The brakes are direct mount Shimano 9100 Dura-Ace calipers, and I like to run them quite wide off the rim. And I do that because I like them to bite just before the lever touches the bar. And finally, the pedals are a leftover from my pro career. They are the Speedplay Zero Aero titanium pedals, and they're single-sided clip-in pedals. Quite standard, quite minimalistic. They look pretty cool on the bike. Right then, the all-important weight test. I reckon it's around 7.5 kilos. 7.37. So that's it, that's the in-depth look at my bike. There's a few other things to note. It's a 53cm frame and my saddle height is 745mm. So there you go, it's a wrap. And hopefully you've noticed I've set the bike up to handle well, be good fun to ride, and just to be really confidence inspiring. If you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed riding it, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. And if you want to see my group set a world record, why not check out Emma's Oman video down there.